Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tonight on the SEC ESPN Network, it's college baseball. The nationally ranked LSU Tigers out of the SEC hosting the Southeastern Louisiana Lions, currently among many teams in first place in the Southland Conference. We welcome you into Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field, with two-time College World Series champion pitcher and president of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, Ronnie Rance. I'm Lynn Rollins. Ronnie, let's start with LSU, a team that beat Alabama on Sunday. That gave LSU a series victory over Alabama, the third time on the road this year that the Tigers have beaten an SEC opponent in a series. And Dylan Cruz was a wrecking ball for LSU. He is the SEC co-player of the week.
Well, he did it with the glove in center field. He also did it with the bat. Home runs number 14, 15, 16 on the year for Dylan Cruz. Drove in 7 RBI and was massive in the 2 wins this past weekend in Tuscaloosa.
Now, the Lions had great success over the weekend as well. They swept Houston Baptist. That put them in a first-place tie among several other teams in the Southland Conference. One of the reasons why, a huge series at the plate from Preston Faulkner. He's the Southland Conference hitter of the week.
Well, it's a homecoming of sorts for Preston Faulkner. He went to nearby Live Oak High School in Denham Springs, and this past week he's continued his hot hitting. He's batting over 300 on the year, but he was 6 for 10 with 10 RBIs. The big fella named the Southland hitter of the week.
We're set for baseball tonight, and Samuel Dutton gets the ball first. This is his 8th start. He's got an 0-1 record with a 2.64 ERA.
Yeah, Dutton over the weekend, not a good one. Only 2/3 of an innings and 2 hits, but he's been good this year. They need him to kind of get right here, go maybe 3 or 4 innings and get ready for a giant weekend against the Ole Miss Rebels. You see his numbers, 30 and 2/3 innings pitched. Not a big strikeout guy, only 23. But the 12 walks, he's had good command when he's on with multiple, about 2 or 3 different pitches.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup. First for the Lions. This is a team that doesn't hit particularly well, but it is a team which will steal a lot of the coach. He's been there a while, and he's had some success in Hammond. It's a beautiful day for baseball. We start under sunshine. We will conclude, obviously, under the lights. But blue skies right now, azure skies, as it were. The wind is blowing out toward left center field. 84 degrees at game time. That's one of the hottest game time starts we've had this year. Winds out of the east-southeast at 8, and absolutely no opportunity for rain tonight. This is the first of 5 consecutive home games for LSU. Ole Miss will be here over the weekend, and then a week from tonight, the Tigers will entertain Northwestern State out of the Southland Conference. Here's Evan Keller at the leadoff position. He takes a strike. Keller hitting .257. He's driven in 24 at the top of the order, and that's a good number. 6 homers for batter number 1. A breaking pitch is dribbled to the left side, and it twists off foul. Ronnie, we are without the services of LSU's Jacob Berry again tonight. Here is the defense. It's Cranford at third. Thompson is next to him. Doty at second base. Morgan on first. Pearson, Cruz, and Dugas are in the outfield from right to left. And McManus is catching Dutton.
Well, without Berry in the lineup, you improve defensively by putting Cranford at third base, a guy who's played shortstop at times at LSU. So you upgrade that position, but obviously you cannot replace that bat. It's arguably the best bat in the country. And so how will LSU, handle those waters? That's going to be the story over the next few games.
There's Gavin Dugas. This is his first start in the field since April 5th against Grambling. He's been sidelined with a thumb injury. Kind of a weird deal. He had a bursa sac burst in his thumb. Very unusual but painful injury. Is still suffering some discomfort there, but is able to play.
I don't even know what that is you just described. I just know something exploded in his thumb, and he's been out for a month.
That's the Cliff Notes version. Yes,
But that's a good thing for LSU, especially with Berry out. You're kind of like Berry out, Dugas in, and you hope that you get the Dugas that from 2021 that led the SEC in RBI. And then you see Jacob Berry in the middle of your screen right there. the Drew Brees lookalike that's
Well, he's
just
got
watching tonight.
2 fingers taped together to immobilize them. There you see that tape, which is keeping those first 2 fingers extended and protected.
You know, LSU finds themselves, as you mentioned, ranked 17th in the country. They're on that bubble for hosting, or maybe even if they get on a run, going into a top 8 national seed, and without their best hitter for an extended amount of time.
That's a fair ball between the third baseman, Cranford, and the bag, and Evan Keller rips one into the left field corner and puts himself in scoring position immediately. That is double number 11 for him, and he has moved into second place among the Lions in 2 base hits.
Well, Keller, a veteran guy, a graduate from Destrehan High School, went to LSU Eunice, and has had a nice career for the Lions. Got a hanging breaking ball and pummeled that ball just inside the third base bag, and that's a good start for the Lions, who offensively are not very potent.
Here's Rhett Roseveare. Roseveare hitting .236. He's been hit by a pitch an amazing 30 times this year. Oh, I beg your pardon. Yes, 30 times. He's also walked 30 times. So when you walk 30 times and you're bruised 30 times, that's 60 times you've been on base without benefit of a hit.
Yeah, the first 2 batters in this lineup that are also the middle of your order, Keller at short, Roseveare at second base. They're both scrappy players. Numbers won't jump out at you, but they're just kind of in the middle of everything. And even though the batting average is a little down for Roseveare, his on-base percentage is .457, over 200 points higher than his batting average.
That's because of those 60 gifts. Although when you're hit by a pitch that many times, that's a painful way to get aboard. Both of these teams have been baseball magnets from opposing pitchers. We'll show you some astounding numbers in a moment.
Roseveare, another Live Oak High product, one of 2 on this Southeastern Lion teams. I don't know if you've ever been, Lynn, over to Live Oak High School, and I know Denham Springs High in the same area, same city, has got some new facilities coming as well. But Live Oak High's baseball and softball complex may be as nice as anybody in the country. They put over $7 million into indoor facilities over there and fields, all turfed. It's amazing.
We're going to go back to that graphic we just showed you when we get an opportunity. These teams between them have been hit nearly 200 times this year. That pitch just barely misses.
Yeah, that was Dutton looked in a little bit. The catcher McManus thought he had a strike as well.
Southeastern is the most hit team in the country with 100 times. LSU is the 7th most with 91. Can you believe that? We've got the 1st and 7th ranked teams in terms of popularity of being hit by pitches on the field right here. 191 times these teams between them have been hit by a pitched baseball.
That is amazingly impressive. So you're telling me that this team takes on Matt Reiser's kind of toughness?
I am saying that, yes.
I mean, Matt Reiser was a scrappy player when he was at Tulane back in the mid-2000s. You see him right there. He's in his 9th season already. That's amazing. He was the conference coach of the year back in 2015. And how about this about Matt Reiser? This tells you how dominant he's been in the Southland Conference. In his time in Hammond, there are 160 wins and only 83 losses in the Southland over those 9 years. Basically, he's averaged winning 2 out of 3 every weekend in the conference since he's arrived.
And he may be the only baseball coach in the country with a degree from Tulane in biomedical engineering.
I'm going to go out on a Ron Limb and say, yes, he is the only coach in the country with that combination.
Biomedical engineering is his background academically. Roseveare has popped up to Doty. Tyler Finke at the plate after the leadoff double by Keller. He rammed one over the bag at third. And the ever-dangerous Preston Faulkner is on deck. Samuel Dutton with the start tonight. 0-1 record, 2.64 ERA. The Ole Miss Rebels come to town this weekend. Those will be 3 games that will be the last at home in the Southeastern Conference. Here's the throw down to second base. But no problem for Keller to get back.
Yes, so many storylines that'll be this weekend. LSU and Ole Miss, of course. Mike Bianco and Jay Johnson, they faced each other last year in the Super Regional in Tucson. Both coaches were obviously linked to replacing Paul Maneri possibly here in Baton Rouge. And Drew Bianco, in his last time he'll face off potentially against his dad, particularly here in Baton Rouge. Last time LSU and Ole Miss will face each other, and Drew will go up against his pop.
Dutton works the high heat past the swinging Finke. That pitch was well elevated out of the strike zone. Finke could not lay off.
That was a purpose pitch by Dutton. Wasn't an accident he threw it up there. And good pitch call and well executed.
So a pop-up and a strikeout following the leadoff double to Keller. And this brings on Faulkner. LSU can be very careful with him. First base is open. Faulkner is by far and away the best Southeastern hitter.
Yeah, he's batting 35 points higher than the next highest batting average on this Southeastern Lion starting lineup.
Faulkner is the only 300 hitter in the starting 9 tonight. That's twisting into the bleachers deep on the right side. And an early souvenir for that group of youngsters down there. In all the games you've attended as a fan, Ronnie, did you ever catch a foul ball?
Never.
On any level?
I don't think so, no. Not that I remember, I'm pretty sure. I know I dropped one in the major leagues up in Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum back in 1989. Dropped the Mark McGuire foul ball.
Collier cuts in front of Thompson and makes a nice play as he went a long way to his left and gets Preston Faulkner on the slow roller. So a leadoff double, but Keller is left aboard, and we move on. We are scoreless as we go to the bottom of the first.
The SEC taught us that no matter how hard you work, victory is never guaranteed. But fighting to get back up every single time you get knocked down is the only way to turn a setback into a comeback. Regions, official bank of the SEC.
Conventional thinking would say Verizon has the largest and fastest 5G network, but they don't. They only cover select cities with 5G. So for me, and the hundreds of drivers in my fleet, staying connected, cutting downtime, and delivering on time depends on T-Mobile 5G. And with coverage of over 96% of interstate highway miles, they've got us covered.
Unconventional thinking delivers 4 times the 5G coverage of Verizon, and it's ready right now. T-Mobile for Business.
Before treating your chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, you're not the only one with questions about Botox. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they even start, with about 10 minutes of treatment once every 3 months. So ask your doctor if Botox is right for you, and if a sample is available.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
In a survey, 92% of current users said they wish they talked to their doctor and started Botox sooner. Plus, right now, you may pay $0 for Botox. Ask your doctor about Botox today.
Daniel Dugas is the senior starter for Southeastern Louisiana out of Pearl River, Louisiana. And what do we know about Daniel Dugas, Ronnie?
Well, you see his numbers. He's a senior. Dugas this year. This will be his 21st appearance on the season. 3 wins, ERA just over 5. Opponents have a high batting average against them, so he's going to have to get that down. The opponents are hitting .304 against Daniel Dugas. He'll be the first of many different pitchers. It's his 5th career start, but he's just getting some work. This is a giant weekend for the Southeastern Lions. They have a chance to win the conference, host the Southland Conference tournament at their field, so they're not going to do anything to jeopardize this weekend. You'll see a lot of different arms tonight.
Let's look at LSU's starting lineup. The first 5 are hitting .300 or better. Dugas and Pearson and Cruz and Morgan and Doty. That's quite the half the lineup to wade through. And certainly there are some boppers in there who are among the very best in the Southeastern Conference. Here's Dugas, who had a monster year last season. He's been on the shelf for much of this year in the boneyard with that injured thumb, but he's making his first start defensively and in the lineup as an offensive player in several weeks. And he hits this pitch on a line deep to left field. You can look up, you can pucker up, and kiss that baby goodbye. Gavin Dugas rips a rising liner into the left field bleachers, and the Tigers on one swing have a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's a big home run for a lot of reasons, and none of which have anything to do with this game, quite frankly. You know, for Gavin Dugas, it has been a frustrating season. This is a guy who was arguably one of the top 3 hitters in the SEC last year based on his 30 games in that league, and it has not been that way for him. And that had to feel really good, as that was a rocket shot, his 4th home run into left field. They put him in the leadoff spot, trying to get him some extra at-bats in this game and get him back jump-started for this weekend.
4 home runs now and 21 RBI in limited duty for Gavin Dugas. And here's Josh Pearson. This freshman out of West Monroe is hitting .326, and a lot of that has come lately. This young player has really been good in recent weeks. Pearson chops it off his foot. 21 RBI for Pearson. Welch and Finke and Garcia in the outfield for Southeastern. Thomas and Faulkner on the infield corners. Keller and Roosevelt are the middle infielders. Dugas and Grisafi form the battery.
Well, not sure if there's any relation between Dugas and Dugas on the mound for Southeastern, but the LSU version of DUGAS got the better of the matchup.
And Daniel does pronounce his last name Dugas. 2-2 pitch. Dribbled to the right side. Short hop scoop is made by Roosevelt over to Faulkner for the out. So 1 gone after the Dugas home run. And here is Dylan Cruz. Cruz has hit safely in 5 consecutive games. His average is .347, 16 home runs, 52 driven in. All of those numbers are among the leaders among Southeastern Conference hitters.
Now, Jacob Cruz, I mean, it's just amazing for LSU fans to think that he will be back next year. You know, as a sophomore, not draft eligible. They don't have to sweat where this guy's going or if he's going to get drafted and come back. As good as he is, can he get even better a year from now? And I'm sure he's going to be on a lot of National Player of the Year lists this year and preseason Player of the list for next year.
Dugas delivers a nice pitch for a strike. On a 2-0 count, that's not something that Cruz would find appealing. That pitch levels the count at 2-2. Trey Morgan is on deck. Gavin Dugas has ripped a rising liner deep into the left field bleachers. And the Tigers on that swing lead 1-0. Cruz hits a comebacker. It's smothered by Dugas. And Faulkner is waiting for the toss. There are 2 outs.
That was well done by Dugas. He fell behind 2-0, but then last couple pitches went in the kitchen of Dylan Cruz, and he didn't think they were strikes, but he felt like he needed to swing on that last one. And you saw how frustrated he was.
Here's Trey Morgan, the second-year Tiger. Still curtailed a bit by that brace on his right leg. He's been battling a gimpy leg for several weeks now. Morgan goes the other way with a ground ball, and he finds left field. So Trey Morgan, against somewhat of a shift, bounces it between the 5-6 hole on the left side, and he becomes a base runner at first base with 2 outs.
This is one of those where when Morgan initially hits it, he's probably like, it's like, you know, like, I didn't get it good. It's a ground ball, but there's nobody there. They've got the shift on. Instead of it being a ground ball or regular shortstop, it's a base hit. So that .372 average against right-handed hitters will go up. Right-handed pitchers, rather.
Here's the shift to the other side for the right-handed swinging Cade Doty. 3 infielders on the left side. There you see it. And the entire distance between second base and first base is open. Morgan will not be a threat to run. Doty looked like he tried to poke it to the right side, but that one is lofted into the bullpen foul.
I would love to see a hitter just, one time just choke, see the shift, get off the knob about 2-3 inches, and just play pepper. Act like there's a runner at third, and you got to get him in from home and hit something on the right side because, it's just there. It's there for the taking.
Or even bunt it. If you get it past the mound, it's a base hit. Ground ball left side. What a play by the shortstop to keep it from rolling into the outfield. Evan Keller turned into a pinwheel with sort of a cartwheel type catch. And it's an infield hit.
Well, if you're Dugas on the mound, you got to be frustrated a little bit. You're like, can we just play normal? Because that's back-to-back ground balls to the shortstop that turned into base hits for LSU. The Lions maybe a little too smart here in the first.
So the home run by Dugas is followed by a pair of singles with 2 outs by Morgan and Doty. And Braden Jobert comes to the plate. Jobert likes the first pitch. He drives it into right center field, but Garcia is able to catch up with it, and that's the 3rd out. But the Tigers get a run on this swing. Gavin Dugas rips the liner into the left field bleachers, his 4th home run of the year. It's 1-0 LSU, headed to the 2nd.
treating your chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, you're not the only one with questions about Botox. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they even start, with about 10 minutes of treatment once every 3 months. So ask your doctor if Botox is right for you, and if a sample is available.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
In a survey, 92% of current users said they wish they talked to their doctor and started Botox sooner. Plus, right now, you may pay $0 for Botox. Ask your doctor about Botox today.
The Lions' base hit in the first inning was a leadoff double by Keller, but he was left there as Samuel Dutton retired Roseveare and Finke and Faulkner. The Tigers got an early run on a Gavin Dugas leadoff home run, his 4th of the year, and then a pair of 2-out singles by Morgan and Doty, but they were left aboard. And we go to the top of the second inning. Dutton in the first inning threw 23 pitches, 15 of those were strikes. And he threw 3 first pitch strikes among the 4 batters he faced. He misses to Shea Thomas. And misses again. 2-0. Second inning action from Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field. Three and 0. Dutton looking for a strike here. Christian Garcia is on deck. And there's a strike in the upper part of the zone.
That was one of those could have gone either way pitches, right above the belt. Dutton will take it.
Thomas swings and lifts it out of play.
Velocity by Dutton a little up today. 93 miles an hour on that fastball.
This is lifted behind second base. Doty is shading his eyes with the glove, and he makes the catch with all 3 outfielders converging on the scene. So Thomas, who got out in front 3-0, lifts a 3-2 pitch in the air behind second base for the first out. Here's Christian Garcia. Garcia out of Slidell. And a breaking pitch misses. Garcia has homered 3 times and driven in 17 with a .254 average. And that breaking pitch is there. That levels the count. Another bender, but it slides wide.
You know, Dutton, when he struggles with his command, to me, it's because his momentum and his direction are off. If sometimes when you watch him, he's very quick to pull off the baseball, meaning his body will turn towards the first base area kind of dramatically. You know, naturally righties are going to fall towards first and lefties are going to fall towards third, but sometimes guys will spin more than going towards the plate and then falling off.
Three balls, 2 strikes to the second consecutive hitter here in the second. And this ball is hit a long way to left field, way back. Christian Garcia smacks one out of sight, and we've got a brand new ball game. That's his 4th home run of the year, and there was little doubt that would leave the yard in a hurry.
Yeah, that one hit off the Rouse's Supermarket sign out there in left field. No doubter off the bat.